Hello and welcome to Nancy Grace. Today we're going to talk about the ethical issue that involves Apple's manufacturing plants in China. We have guests Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. Hi, Tim Cook. And we have Ken, the manager at Foxconn, one of the managers at Foxconn. And of course, Kim, a former employee from Foxconn. So, in the past 10 years, Apple's become one of the most successful companies in the world. In part by mastering global manufacturing, Apple and many competitors in the industry have achieved a pace of innovation almost unmatched in modern history. But at what cost? Kim, can you tell me a little bit about working at Foxconn?
Okay, I'm Kim and I live in China. I was hired at the factory when I was 15 and I'm now 20.
Just hold on a sec. Is that normal for, like, were you the only 15-year-old working there? Or?
No, of course not. A lot of workers are hired at 14 or 15. They're not supposed to be, but we needed a job then, so we were hired. But throughout my time at the factory, I was not paid for a lot of overtime. I've worked many 60-hour weeks. A few times I had my paycheck withheld for working too slow, and sometimes I wasn't given a reason for not receiving my paycheck. So it was just a lot of things like that.
Wow. Well, that's quite troubling. For a few facts about Foxconn, 2 years ago, 137 workers at this Apple supplier were injured after they were ordered to use poisonous chemicals to clean iPhone screens. Within 7 months last year, 2 explosions at iPad factories, including in Chengdu, killed 4 people and injured 77. Before those blasts, Apple had been alerted to these conditions, and unfortunately, nothing happened. Tim, are you aware of these conditions?
Yes, we have been aware and concerned with these allegations, and which is why we have conducted so many audits within the last year.
Right, and how many of the audits have actually been passed?
Well, of the 312 audits in the last year, less than half.
Less than half. Ken, are you aware of this?
Well, down at my plant in Chengdu, which I manage, living conditions and working conditions are actually phenomenal. There's no problems, and workers are given the proper tools to perform their jobs.
Oh, really? Is this true, Kim? Would you say that the living conditions are good? Or I heard that you guys lived in crowded dorms. What would you say?
There's a lot of workers at the factory. We don't all have our own rooms or anything like that, not at all. So we are crammed into rooms, and we have to sleep there, and this is where we live, but it's very crowded.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kim, what ethical issues do you feel have been violated by Apple and Foxconn?
Well, a lot of things, actually, like just hiring underage, first of all, improper disposal of hazardous waste has injured hundreds of workers, and due to bad chemical exposures, and just overtime, working 11 days sometimes in a row without any time off. It's very troubling.
So these are some major ethical issues,
yes.
You would say.
We weren't promised this when we were hired.
Okay, well, companies like HP and Intel and Nike push their suppliers. But Apple wants to keep their suppliers at an arm's length, and Foxconn is their most important manufacturer. So what we hear is they refuse to push them. Is this true, Tim?
To a certain extent, yes. Foxconn is a successful company. We don't want to get in the way of how they do things in their facilities. But we believe that, quote-unquote, quality is more important than quantity. And 1 home run is much better than 2 doubles. So we want to just let Foxconn do what we've asked them to do, however they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just have something to say.
Go ahead.
If you think that quality is like a home run as opposed to, you know, hitting 2 doubles, then why, as working for a supplier, why do we cut costs and replace expensive chemicals with cheaper chemicals that are more dangerous for us? Does that not bother you? Does that not involve you?
Well, I'd like to stand behind Steve Jobs when he once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So I believe our innovation is why we are so successful.
Tim, what impression do you think Apple has on other companies, being such a innovative company and a leader? Do you think that that Apple is setting an example for these companies to follow?
Yeah.
These ethical issues?
100%. I mean, like I said before, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. And I believe, as of today, we are a leader in our market. So I guess we're doing something right.
But you are an American company in China, and China has bad working conditions. You've promised to better this, and you are just following suit. You're setting a negative example on other Chinese companies that wish to improve, and workers hope to work in better conditions, but you're doing the same thing.
Aren't you worried about your reputation?
Well, I mean, Foxconn is one of our most important suppliers. And we have to trust our operations and management. We can't tell them how to run their facilities. The explosion in 2011 was a mishap. I'm sorry that you and your coworkers had to deal with that, but Foxconn plays a huge role in our company's success. So at this point, I'm not too concerned about our reputation, because I believe we have a strong reputation right now, and it's not going anywhere.
Okay, great. Ken, what is the next step?
Well, Foxconn is actually planning to double their workers' wages by 2013.
Wow. Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us on Nancy Grace. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Ken. Tim. Bye.
Bye.